Hey, good morning, everybody. How you doing? Rick here, Hit and Run Candlesticks. Guess you all know that, though. Hey, it's August 9th. It's, what is this, Tuesday? It's about 8:50 in the morning, East Coast time. Thank you so much for being here. Hey, look, there's a really good chance in about 10 minutes, 15 minutes, I'm going to have the perfect storm right here. So if I have to stop for a few minutes, please be patient with me. I'll be right back, but there's some things I might have to take up if got some repairmen coming, and I should have paid attention to the time a little better. So anyway, welcome everybody. Glad you're here. I truly appreciate it. Let's have another fun day in the market. So what I want to do here is switch to this chart. A little cleaner. I'm actually going to take all that off. There we go. Adjust this up a little bit. Okay, let's get going. The first thing I want to remind everybody of is really not a lot going on today as far as news or anything. Tomorrow, you've got the CPI numbers. That's the big thing, I think. You got some petroleum status. Then, of course, you got job numbers coming up here on job claims coming up on Thursday. And then Friday, there's always something going on Friday here. So little crazy stuff there. Members, you know how to get this to this page so you can see everything. If not, let's get finished with this, what I'm doing now, and I'll be glad to share with everybody how you get there, okay? All right, well, let's just get started here. So I've been pretty much saying follow the ball, okay? What is the ball doing? Ball meaning price, ball meaning the trend. And I'm not going to change from that. I'm going to stay with that. But you know, sometimes it changes. So we want to follow what's going on. So what I'm going to do is draw some lines here like this. And just connect these tops over here with these tops, this low over here with this low. And we're getting kind of tight up here. Also, I'm going to draw a line across these highs right here, and I'm going to draw a line pretty much across these lows, which pretty much comes into these lows over here, which actually it does. So while recently I have been a definite, no question about it, bull, absolutely. And if we start to break down here, I will be, no question about it, bear. No doubt about it. I'm going to follow price. I'm not going to try to predict what I think is going on in the economy. I'm not going to try to predict what CPI numbers are. I'm not going to try to predict what's going to happen in 2 months. That's not what we do. We trade swing trading, short term. We profit into strength, which could be 1 to 10 days, maybe 1 to 2 days, maybe. It's for us. It's about looking for a chart setup, making money to the downside, or making money to the upside. It's not buying and marrying a stock for 6 weeks. It's just not what we do. There's nothing wrong with that. Don't get me wrong. Everybody has a style of trading, and there's probably millions of different ways to look at a chart and to trade. This is just what we do. So there is a third situation we have going on, not just, follow the ball to the upside. I'm going to change that just a little bit. There we go. Follow the ball to the upside or follow the ball to the downside. There's a third piece in here, and that is going to be, let's make it blue, I guess. We'll make it blue. And that is when we're going sideways. Now, I personally, as a trader, do not like sideways trading. And that is chop, and chop tends to be very, very difficult to trade. Now, other people out there, you probably rock on this, and if you do, I'm super happy for you. Okay, if that works out for you. But if you have found in your past that you have these periods where you just cannot make any money in the market, it's either just you work for nothing, or you lose money. Just stop and go back and evaluate at what time of the market was that. Was it during this chop time like this? Chop time like this, chop time like this, chop time like this, chop time like this. And this year we've had a lot of it, a lot of it. So if it's during one of these periods, maybe it's best to just pump the brakes on trading a little bit. Maybe cash 100%. Maybe not 100%, but definitely pump the brakes a little bit, okay? So here's what I'm thinking. I need some more information here. I think these horizontal lines here, about this 407.75 and about this 417.45 up here, this is where we need to know what the market intends to do. Is it going to break down this way, or is it going to break up this way? This is one of those periods that I think pumping the brakes might be a good idea until we get a clear move. But what happens is we're afraid we're going to miss out on something. That is so not true. Have you ever noticed that when a chart breaks out, it rests and then it tends to go higher? Okay, that should be like dong, a clue. Okay, to the bearish side, it's the same thing. To the bearish side, it can be a little bit more down, 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 because bears jump out of windows, bulls climb upstairs. So the bearish side could rush to the downside. It could. Many times what will happen is you get that relief rally, that gasp for air, and then we come down. But on the bullish side, it's never boom, 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 boom. It's never like that. I shouldn't say never, I guess. That's probably a poor choice of words. So very rare, all right? So let's keep this in mind when we're trading right now. We are at this resistance area. We're getting pretty tight up here. Maybe it's time to be cautious, just cautious. If you made good monies through here, you don't want to lose those monies. All right, let's go look at some charts here. Let's start at the top. Top means nothing, by the way. It doesn't mean it's the best chart out there or anything like that. Just the top of the list. So let's look at INSG for a long. I've got an entry area in here with a big target up here at 4.25. Watch this $3 area right in here. Now, everybody knows that I use a chart somewhat like this. We'll talk about the moving averages and more areas to be concerned with after the market opens up in the members room, okay? But for now, we're going to stick with this and sort of the broad strokes of it. So what I'm looking at, and this is the buy box area, by the way. Stop below or right at that red, where we're red here. Buy in the box or a little bit of a breakout is what I'm looking for. PLD is a short trade. That's why is that? No. I'm sorry. I was thinking another trade. My bad. PLD is a long trade. Sorry. I was thinking of PDD actually. PLD, long trade. You can see how that trend is working. See how we're moving sideways. We want to watch for the buy signal in here and or a breakout. Watch the 138.80 area and then nice target up here about 147. This number right here represents the distance between this low and this high of the kind of a green bluish box here. And that is the swing trade playground, if you will, swing trade playground. Let's go look at CVX real quick. CVX might be setting up. So CVX has come down, made a bottom here. We've rallied up. We've pulled back. We have a bullish piercing candle that collided with this 158.40 area right through there. And it seems the bulls kind of like it. Looks like we might be headed up. I would like to see more follow through personally, but I have no problem taking the trade inside this box based on the current candlesticks. 161.20-ish, somewhere around there, is one area that I want to be very cautious at, and then we'll look for a bigger target up here about 173.85 for about 15.8%. Actually, it's going to be probably closer to 15% because we're off those lows a bit here this morning. GLD is another one I've got for the long side. We've got a very nice bottom in here, very, very nice bottom actually. And now we've moved sideways by area. 168.45 might be an area of concern. Watch price. Then 172.65 up here is what we're looking at. Let's see. AEO. AEO is another one. I'm going to jump right to the big price up here of about 18.15. That represents about 48%. You can see the number right there. There certainly is a few issues along the way right here where we have a little bit of we call this an argument where we have multiple touches on both sides, the upper side of the line, excuse me, and the lower side of the line. That's an argument between bulls and the bears. Same thing goes for right here. And that is where we want to watch. Let's just take this like this here. Let's assume we get bullish. And as we come up, we want to watch this area right here and make sure the sellers don't come in and knock us back to the downside. So we want to watch price action. This is where it helps to learn about candlesticks. And then let's assume we pop up all the way to this line and the same thing right through here. These are also great places to take profits. Just think about it. If this was bought at 12.65, what would be wrong with closing part of it? We always want to look at taking profits into strength or weakness if you're short, closing it around that 13.50 area. It's only 6.5%. Well, what about this one around the 14.75 area? Now we're up in the 16-17% range. So we're going to be looking at taking profits into strength for sure here. UEC is another one. Nice little flag setup. Pop out of the box is what we have here. Nice little bullish engulf, a little bit of sideways motion here. Inside the box is the buy area based on my rules. My rules may differ from your rules. A breakout would be a buy based on my rules. Again, my rules may be different than your rules. I'm just sharing charts that I'm adding to the watch list here. Just simply building a watch list to trade with rather than trying to look at 5,000 stocks all at one time, trying to make that decision. I weed things down to a watch list, and that's what I'm doing here. And I'll add these. And then when the scanner kicks off or triggers a trade, that's when I may enter that trade. Okay, so we've got 32% from the lower side, basically the red line down here, up to this top blue line here. 32%. I'm just looking for that buy signal in here, and then I will follow. I'll follow things like the moving averages. I pay a lot of attention to those, and I'll follow price, that support and resistance. Follow the ball. That's what it's all about. Follow the ball. BGFV. We've got this big old pop yesterday. So now what I want is for that pop to settle down. I'm good with buying it in this area, providing that the price action looks good. And I would not have a problem with a breakout. In fact, I would almost prefer a breakout just to prove that we can get some follow through out of this. With 44% to the top side up here, there is just no reason to rush in to this trade at all, or any trade for that matter. At 1365, just to that 1534 area is 12 to 12.5%. So there really is no reason to rush into a trade. There is, however, a super important reason to plan a trade, just like I'm doing right here. UAA is one I've got my eyeballs on. We've got a nice bottom here. In fact, we could just do this right here. We're going to put that line there. Let's duplicate this. Try that again. There we go. And we'll just put a line right there. Look how that created that bottom, constructed a bottom, and now we've broken out over that bottom. That's a sign that the bulls are interested in this. You can clearly see the trend right through here. We've got some sideways motion. That's what I like to see for an entry with price action. So sideways motion to a pullback, I guess, is probably the better way to say that. Looking for that price action inside here, or maybe a breakout. There's 41% up to this $13 range. What do we have here? 14.5% back up to this top, depending exactly where it's entered. But UAA is looking pretty good. DOV is another one that I like here. You can see that bottom that we've got in here, right there. Nice little double bottom. You can see the trend that rallied up. You see the beautiful low, high, higher, low, higher, high. And now we're just cooking sideways here. Just being patient, floating along. Now what we're going to do is we're going to put this on the watch list. We're going to let the scanner alert us. When it alerts, if we buy it, we're going to buy it. We're going to post to members our buy price, the option we took, and or just a stock price. And then we've got about 16% to about 153.90 up here, 154. This 144.90 area is going to be kind of important to keep an eye on. Now, there's a lot of other places up here that we want to keep an eye on. The moving averages, I trade with those an awful lot. And here's the dotted deuce right here. It's kind of hard to see. But right there is the 500 period moving average. I pay attention to those. And we'll talk about those here just shortly after the market opens. Let's look at some shorts here. FT, go back over here. There we are. FTU. I think we need to look at some shorts because the market is questionable at the moment. Questionable. Questionable. Good day to maybe, or good time to pump the brakes until the market makes a clear decision, I think. But have some shorts on the watch list is a good thing to do. I'm looking at FTU. Entry in this area here, maybe a slight breakout of that red line from this top down to this bottom is about 25.75%. That puts us in this area over here where we might start to see a little bit of pop to the upside. KWEB is another short setup here. There's the entry area, there's the profit zone, there's what could stop the trading, at least a target, what I would use for a target. You can clearly see the downtrend in the chart. Beautiful chart, if you ask me, for the short setup. FTNT is another one that has a little bit of a short look here. Here we've gapped down. Here's the buy box area. And again, I wouldn't be opposed to a breakdown of the buy box. And that puts us about 28% down here to 42.60. Let's go to a weekly chart. There you go. You can see it a little better now. And there's a little shelf there we might run into. Now, so let's just, for fun, say FTNT starts popping up. That's not a reason to get long in my book. That's not my kind of a long chart. However, so it might be somebody's long chart. Then we get up here and we start moving down. This might be an area to short. I'm going to stick with my trade plan, which was here. So I'm certainly not opposed to shorting here. My trade plan says to short in this area, so that's what I will look for based on my plan. You guys have all seen me do this. Do we have any more? Oh, no, I think we did them. Oh, no, we do have one more. There we go. JD is another one. So here's JD. We've been in this downtrend here. Here we've moved down into the buy area. My target area is 48.75 for about 22%, and there's the buy area. Okay, now this, to set this up is not hard to do. It really is not. I'm going to pick one chart. I'm going to show you how to do this, and I think this is so important to put your plan together. And I know that plans can be somewhat irritating because if we start writing out a trade plan, we can start with a 3x5 index card, and before we know it, we have filled out 42 3x5 index cards, and there's no reason for that. There's none whatsoever. No reason whatsoever. We don't need to overdo it. Okay. Here's a popular stock, thanks to Mr. Buffett. All right. So let's take a look at this trade here. So let's set this trade up for. Let's set a plan up for this trade. All right. I'm going to go to this chart because this is the chart I use most of the time. Now, that blue line here is the 50-period moving average. I can tell you right now, I wouldn't touch this personally until we get over that 50-period moving average. And we are close. We are close. So we're in the ballpark. Target-wise, why can't we go back to 73.15? I think we can. I think we could go higher. Absolutely. There's going to be some areas along the way, very clear areas, that we should be concerned with. Right here should be one of them. Another one would be right in here, right there. These are areas that we should be concerned with. That's not hard to do. Now this has taken me a lot longer to do because I'm talking through it. Okay. If you're not talking through it, you can do this in about, less than a minute. So I'm going to go here because I'm not going to touch this unless it's over the 50-period moving average. You can see from the 50 to the top, there's 18%. I'm going to come in here and draw a little buy box, just like this. I'm going to come over here. I'm going to paint that buy box a little mark around it. And there you go. My trade plan is done. Now, if you weren't talking through this, it takes about 30 seconds, 45 seconds. I think this is so important to do. And I truly believe this would help a lot of people. Anyway, thanks for being here. That's the end. Man, that went faster than I thought. I thought it was going to be a little long today. Hey, Vern, thanks for your picture. Yeah, we had some serious storms here last night, early evening, yesterday afternoon. And today it's not supposed to be any better. So, man, wish me luck on the internet. I've got a lot going on here. Okay, thank you, everybody. We'll see you when the market opens up in about 15 minutes. You guys take care. Thanks for listening in. Appreciate it.